This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning. It is Friday.
It is.
I'm Ray Collins. Good morning.
And I'm Stephanie Roberts. Great to be with everybody this morning. We have the winds of change blowing out there. Let's check in with meteorologist John Scalzi for our first alert forecast. And hopefully that means a little bit less humidity for the weekend. It was sticky out there yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit less humidity. You may notice that it wasn't the fog problem this morning that we've had over the previous mornings. In part, that's because the wind speeds are up just a little bit. Plus, we've had some cloud cover around that actually have kept the morning temperatures tad bit warmer than they were 24 hours ago, which has helped in preventing the fog. Becky in Omayaca has 61 degrees, Richard in Northport 67, and Cooper in Central Sarasota at 68. Taking a look at the satellite view, it's hard to see on this view because we're looking at an infrared image here, but out in Gulf waters there is a line of clouds that basically runs right over central Florida, and that's our frontal boundary sinking southward, not producing any rainfall, but certainly separating the very dry air to the north with dew points in the 40s and 50s from our air, which is still in the 60s. We'll see those dew points dropping this afternoon, making it feel a little less humid and a little more comfortable. And certainly there won't be any rain in the forecast today. But the temperature drop will be significant, but not extraordinary, only coming in probably about 3 or 4 degrees cooler than it did 24 hours ago. Our daytime high probably around the 80-degree mark, which is typical for this time of year. We've been so warm that I think typical will feel pretty good. We'll have the complete forecast for the weekend in a second. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic. An unusual delay continues out on Bradenton Beach. On the left side of your screen, you'll see some buildup northbound as you cross over Cortez and head towards northern Anna Maria Island. Otherwise pretty good in Manatee County. Farther south, buildups continue on Siesta Key. Some folks out the beach already. Also south 41 around Clark Road. Farther south now further, we'll check nothing much to speak of on the South County map at 6:02 on your Friday morning.
Our top story this hour, President Trump is in Vietnam for the APEC summit.
But some wonder about a possible high-profile meeting while he's there. The story from John Lawrence.
President Trump is in Vietnam for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum in Da Nang.
We have been friends, partners, and allies in the Indo-Pacific for a long, long time. And we will be friends, partners, and allies for a long time to come.
But the burning question for many is whether or not Mr. Trump will meet with President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin initially said a sit-down would happen, but later seemed less definitive after U.S. officials said nothing formal was scheduled.
Clearly the leaders are going to be at the summit together. Wouldn't be at all unusual if they ended up with some kind of a pull-aside. The question is whether we've got sufficient substance.
Critics say President Trump hasn't come down hard enough on Putin for Russia's interference in the 2016 election.
Trump really adores Putin. Trump really, I think, thinks that he wants to be Putin. If he could be an American Putin, that would be his dream come true.
Some analysts say Mr. Trump just wants the scandal to go away.
I think that from Trump's standpoint, he's doing everything possible to bury this story, that there was Russian meddling. He doesn't want there to continue to be these accusations of collusion between his campaign and the Russians.
Earlier this week, Mr. Trump said that he'd like Putin's help confronting North Korea. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The White House says Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore should step aside if sexual misconduct allegations against him are true. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders released a statement saying, like most Americans, the president believes we can't allow a mere allegation, in this case one from many years ago, destroy a person's life. A Washington Post report detailed Moore's alleged pursuit of sexual relationships with underage women in his 30s. Now Moore denies the claims. According to Alabama state officials, there is no process in place to replace Moore on the ballot should he drop out or have his nomination withdrawn by the state party.
Code and the Constitution of Alabama are very clear about his candidacy, and that is that Judge Moore will remain on the ballot as the Republican nominee.
The special election for now Attorney General Jeff Sessions' former Senate seat is now just weeks away. A Florida legislator is resigning to take a job with the Trump administration. Polk County State Representative Neil Combie is taking a job with the Department of Agriculture. At first, he wanted to do both jobs, but now he says that won't be the case.
The Department of Homeland Security is now warning that terrorists may start using drones to carry out attacks. The agency said overseas terror groups are using battlefield experience to pursue new tactics, including unmanned aircraft and chemical agents. The DHS says homegrown terror suspects are communicating with each other on encrypted social media apps. The bulletin calls the current environment one of the most challenging since 9/11. We are learning new details about Sunday's mass shooting as the pastor of that small church now says it would be too painful to worship there again and wants to tear it down.
We're also hearing from the shooter's father for the first time. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
The small town of Sutherland Springs, Texas has been through the unthinkable.
This is our 9/11. You understand that? This is our 9/11. We'll never forget it.
26 members of their community killed in Sunday's church massacre. 8 of them children, many from the same family.
Lives have been changed forever. Sisters, brothers, grandparents, infants. We'll never be the same.
As the nation struggles to comprehend the horror that happened in this small town, people are also demanding answers.
It was a crime that the assailant was ever able to purchase a firearm in the first place.
The shooter's past conviction in a military court for violent domestic assault should have prevented him from buying his guns. But the Air Force admits they never passed this information on to the FBI, revealing that a full investigation is now underway.
Since Sunday night, the Air Force Inspector General has talked to about 100 people involved in this case. We are looking at all of our databases, and if we have problems that we find, we'll fix them.
They promised to not only investigate what happened in the shooter's case, but also in all potential cases that could have fallen through the cracks. The Air Force says their review of the shooter should be out early next week, but they also plan on looking at all of their databases going back decades, and that review will take much longer. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Sutherland Springs, Texas.
In Tallahassee, a proposal that would make it harder for future lawmakers in Florida to raise taxes is now gaining momentum. If approved, voters would be asked if they want to pass a constitutional amendment that would require approval from 2/3 of the House and Senate to raise taxes and fees in the future. Currently, tax and fee hike can be approved by simple majorities of 50%. Governor Rick Scott makes an appearance to lobby for the measure yesterday, along with lobbying for a nearly $180 million package full of tax and fee cuts.
We've cut taxes 75 times. We'll cut taxes again this year. Because what happens if you do it, you end up with more revenues. I think our general revenues are up 36% since I got elected.
If lawmakers go along with the proposal, it would need support from 60% of voters during the November 2018 election to pass.
Despite the White House slashing open enrollment advertising and support, Americans are signing up now for Obamacare at a record rate. Over 600,000 people signed up in the first 4 days, far outpacing last year's rate. Nearly a quarter of those, by the way, were first-time enrollees. In addition to cutting advertising and support, the Trump administration cut the sign-up period down from 3 months to 6 weeks. The website healthcare.gov remains intact for now. Florida regulators have approved a nearly 10% drop in workers' comp insurance rates. The new rates are scheduled to take effect January 1st. The National Council on Compensation Insurance asked regulators to approve a slightly smaller rate decrease after rates were hiked a year ago because of concerns about rulings from the state Supreme Court. But regulators say experience and new data show that the rates did not need to be that high.
Walmart is well on its way to hiring 250,000 veterans. The company said Thursday it has hired 188,000 veterans since 2013. That's the year Walmart first pledged to hire thousands of ex-military service members. A Walmart spokesman says more than 26,000 of those veterans have even been promoted.
The Florida legislature is hiring a national employment law firm to investigate a state senator accused of sexual harassment. 6 women accused Senator Jack Latvala of Clearwater of groping or making demeaning comments. Latvala released the results of his own polygraph yesterday, which concluded that he was being truthful when he denied that he had inappropriately touched women. Senate President Joe Negron authorized an investigation into the allegations that the newly hired law firm will begin next week, and Latvala will no longer be appearing at today's Veterans Day parade in Anna Maria as planned. He issued a statement on Thursday as to why he won't be the Grand Marshal, saying, "Veterans Day is about our fine veterans and not about me. I prefer the spotlight be on them." The parade on Anna Maria Island will go on as scheduled later today from 1 until 3 p.m.
Starting today, Sarasota County Area Transit will launch an improved bus route for beachgoers in Englewood. The change comes from feedback from the community and area businesses. Route 26 starts at 10:45 a.m. on Hosmer Avenue and Spruce Street. It'll travel to Dearborn Street and into the beach roundabout at Englewood Beach. The route will only operate Friday through Sunday until mid-December, and then after that, it will run 7 days a week. Great to have a new option to get to the beach. Anytime I don't have to park at any beach, I'm happy. So Scott's doing a great job getting people to the beach.
All right, so good weekend for the beach, Sean.
Looks pretty good for us. I think we'll have some pretty nice conditions. Maybe an isolated shower or two, but that's about it. And then maybe some lower humidity as well, which will always feel nice.
You know why the traffic's increasing here?
Why?
Have you seen the temperatures up north?
Oh, I know.
The polar front has arrived, and that means the people are coming.
Teens.
You can't blame them.
Wow,
Oof.
that's right. Good weekend for the Sandcastle competition this weekend.
Absolutely, and Chalk Fest, it's a huge weekend.
That's true. Big
Lots
one.
going on.
Still ahead, first alert traffic, and the search continues for a decorated veteran service dog that somehow disappeared.
We'll tell you why he believes his dog was taken while he was cleaning up damage left behind by Hurricane Irma.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee counties since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Enjoy fine wine, craft beer, and delicious foods, all while supporting a great cause at the 16th Annual Suncoast Food and Wine Festival presented by Publix, Saturday, November 11th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Sarasota Polo Club. Taste wines from around the world and sample cuisine from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds benefit a variety of local charities and Rotary Club projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sport Utility for $269 per month or a 2017 MKZ for $279 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
The ABC7 First Alert Hurricane Guide. Download yours today.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 68 degree Air temperature with the dew point coming in at 66. You know, it's not quite as humid as it was 24 hours ago, in part because the air temperature is just a tad bit warmer, just by a degree or two, because of the little extra cloud cover that we have had during the overnight, and because of the winds that are just a little bit breezier than they were yesterday when they were basically calm. So that has led to less fog potential across the region, and that will be the case today. And it'll be the case again tomorrow because the wind speeds will be up and because we'll have some drier air in place. So I think the fog situation pretty much has gone away for the time being. 67 degrees, Wauchula, Arcadia, Myakka, Parrish at 65, so is Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 66, 67 degrees in Northport, and we've got 68 degrees in Inglewood, Venice, and Longboat Key. So across the region, I think tomorrow morning we will watch all of these temperatures drop by a few degrees. I think we'll be in the lower 60s tomorrow morning. We have front number 1 kind of sinking southward across the state of Florida, clearing later today. As it does so, front number 2 kind of pushes through and falls apart today. It's not a major front. It's not even going to bring us much more than a few degrees lower dew point value later in the afternoon. Once high pressure builds in behind that, though, we'll notice a more easterly wind flow. And that will tend to do a couple things. One, it could bring a few of the scattered showers from the Atlantic coast over into our area tomorrow afternoon. So don't be surprised to see a quick passing shower or the skies darken for a brief period of time during the afternoon as some of those clouds roll in from the Atlantic. And 2, it'll keep our wind speeds up just a little bit so that we still will have a small craft advisory through the night tonight and into tomorrow morning. Most of the country is very quiet today, but ooh, is it cold. Northern Tier, Central Great Lakes, into the Northeast are seeing temperatures in the teens when you factor in wind chill. So very chilly indeed. Now, we don't really get any of that colder air. It's sliding eastward. The heavy weather that was in the deep south yesterday, that's gone. We're not going to see any of that. But watch the futurecast, put into motion. There's our east wind, and it will perhaps bring a scattered shower or two Saturday and Sunday. I'll put in about a 20% chance for rainfall Saturday and Sunday. Northeast wind comes in at about 20. This evening it'll be breezy out there, bonus for sunset cruises. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll look at that chance of showers. But another front on Monday promises us some upper 70s by the beginning of next work week. Back to you guys.
All right, sure beats that weather up north. Thank you very much, John. Taking a look at the roadways. Not a lot of problems at this early hour. A little bit of building volume there. 301 and State Road 70, normal problem spot early in the day. I-75 in Manatee County looks good, though. Starting to see the volume, especially on Bee Ridge in both directions on a Friday morning. Clark Road is still moving well. And I-75 all the way into South Sarasota County. No accidents or delays. Things looking good this morning in Northport and Nokomis. It is 6:18, and a decorated war veteran is without his service dog this morning after the dog disappeared from his apartment.
Yeah, the man says it vanished during Hurricane Irma. Reporter Erica Racco has the latest on the search.
It's devastating. It's like a family member is just all of a sudden is missing.
Serving our country as a combat medic for more than 20 years, Doc has seen it all. He's a disabled war veteran, a decorated one, the recipient of multiple Purple Hearts. But now his heart is as broken as ever.
The way I'm trying to cope with it, it's one of my battles that fell. You lose friends, and it's like you have to continue. And that's how I'm trying to deal with it, but I can't. I don't know, I can't.
Since repairs to the damage Hurricane Irma caused hadn't been made, Doc was forced to find a new place to live. While moving furniture out last week, he left Bandit in the second-floor apartment, and when he came back, it was evident someone had been here. Shattered windows were repaired, and Bandit, his service dog, was gone.
He's not the type of dog that would just jump out a window or something, you know, he wouldn't do that.
If you see Doc, you'd see Bandit, even horseback riding or parachuting together.
He helped me a lot with my anxiety, my combat-related nightmares that I have. And since I've had him, they've literally almost gone.
Bandit gave Doc the confidence to just get out and walk and to socialize. Now he's walking the neighborhood without him, searching for him.
Please take care of him. If you have him, if you find him, please call. He's all I have. He's all I have.
Tough to lose your friend like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Still ahead, a big-name comedian accused of sexual misconduct.
We'll tell you what an explosive new report from the New York Times is claiming about Louis C.K. and what it could mean for the comedian's future projects when we come back.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
This holiday season, share the greatest gift of all, peace of mind. Subaru is rated the safest and most dependable automotive brand, and all Subaru models with EyeSight are a 2017 IIHS top safety pick. Now during the Subaru Share the Love event, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $219 a month, or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Well, this is the place to be later on this morning. In about 35 minutes, big sold-out Veterans Day breakfast at the Sahib Shrine Temple, which is at Beneva, not too far from Fruitville.
Of course, Veterans Day is officially tomorrow, but because the holiday falls on a Saturday this year, many celebrations are being held on Friday across the area, and kids are off of school, banks are closed, but still parades happening tomorrow. So kind of a two-day celebration
That's right.
for our veterans.
There's our social media contact page. Check out Ray Collins, ABC7, or also John Scalzi, ABC7. You see plenty of local content. We've got a big tour group this morning at 8 o'clock coming through our studio. 35 kids.
Great. Let's get some pictures up of that. And I know you're at the Veterans event tomorrow on Longboat Key, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So you'll get pictures out of that, too.
I will. You know that.
All right. All around the town. It is 6:24, and in an explosive new report in the New York Times, 5 women accused comedian Louis C.K. of sexual misconduct.
Now his new movie is in jeopardy, and HBO has pulled all his content from their on-demand services. ABC's Lindsay Davis has the latest.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a staple on the comic circuit, Louis C.K. rose to fame poking fun at his appearance and sexual hang-ups.
I'm the guy that women see and they go,
But now, a bombshell report by the New York Times alleging Louis C.K. exposed and touched himself in front of multiple women dating back more than a decade. 2 women tell the Times that after a comedy show in 2002, C.K. invited them to have a drink with him in his room. When they arrived, they say he asked if he could expose himself in front of them. They say they thought it was a joke and laughed it off, but that he proceeded to take all of his clothes off, get completely naked, and touch himself. 2 other women are now sharing similar allegations, and a 5th alleges he engaged in a sexual act while on the phone with her. We'll talk live to the New York Times reporter who broke the story coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Lindsay Davis, ABC News, New York.
Fast heartburn relief? Try Cool Mint Zantac. It releases a cooling sensation in your mouth and throat. Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24 hours. Try Cool Mint Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Around here, I'm lucky to get through a shift without a disaster.
Heads up.
Ooh. My bargain detergent couldn't keep up. It was mostly water. So I switched to Tide Pods. They're super concentrated, so I get a better clean. I mean, I give away water for free. I'm not about to pay for it in my detergent.
#1 trusted, #1 awarded. It's gotta be Tide. And for a plant-based clean, try Tide Pure Clean.
Patrick woke up with back pain, but he has work to do, so he took a leave. If he'd taken Tylenol, he'd be stopping for more pills right now. Only Aleve has the strength to stop tough pain for up to 12 hours with just one pill. Aleve, all day strong.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important medical announcement. Talcum powder products from some of the best-known brands have been linked to ovarian cancer. Any woman who has used a talcum powder product and has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that women with long-term use of talcum powder, including baby powder for feminine hygiene, can increase the risk of contracting ovarian cancer. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to women who should have been warned about the risks of ovarian cancer with long-term use of talcum powder. Call the Talcum Powder Hotline. If you or a loved one used talcum powder and were diagnosed or died from ovarian cancer, you must call now.
Call 800-570-7599, 800-570-7599.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos. To use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, a former Sarasota County Sheriff Deputy going to prison for 15 years. We'll have details of Frank Bybee's sentencing.
Plus, a garden of controversy. Not everyone likes the plans for Selby Gardens' new makeover.
Plus, tigers on the loose will tell you about some concerns in eastern Manatee County. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
Live from the ABC7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Welcome back as we come up on 6:30 on a Friday morning. I'm Stephanie Roberts.
And I'm Ray Collins. Should be a beautiful weekend here on the Suncoast. Lots of things to do as well. Can't beat this.
Oh, so many different activities.
Yeah.
In fact, it's almost impossible to get them all in. But we're going to try because a lot of people have a 3-day weekend thanks to the Veterans Day holiday, which is being celebrated today. So get out, enjoy the Siesta Key Sand Sculpture Festival, the Chalk Fest at the Venice Fairgrounds. Lots of different things, John Scalzi. So we need some good weather, especially for those artists who have all this work just waiting to be seen.
Yeah, I think it's going to cooperate pretty nicely. I know in past years, some of the chalk festivals have had some showers that have come through at times, but I really don't see that so much this year. We might have a brief passing spritz of rainfall Saturday or Sunday, but we're not going to have any driving rains around here. The reason is we have a frontal boundary that's kind of sinking southward across the region right now. It's in a line of showers that extends out in Gulf waters. It's separating dry air from moist air, and yes, you'll see a few showers over on the Atlantic coast, but nothing over on our coast this morning. In fact, daytime highs today will even be slightly cooler, and the humidity will be less this afternoon. You'll notice it. Daytime highs about 3 or 4 degrees cooler, coming in near 80. Typical for this time of year. Complete weekend forecast coming up in a few.
Thank you, John. Checking first alert traffic right now. The usual slowdowns around State Road 70 and also 301 around downtown. Let's check farther south now into Sarasota County and see some issues on Bee Ridge. The eastbound lanes over Beneva, also Ringling Causeway getting started there. Might slow you down as you head towards St. Armand Circle. South County all clear at 6:31 on your Friday morning.
Topping our news this half hour in Manatee County, a possible sighting of tigers near Mayaca City.
The sheriff's office received calls about several large cat sightings, possibly tigers, off Crosby Road in eastern Manatee County. Deputies and the Florida Wildlife Commission responded, and a search for the cats is ongoing this morning. Wildlife investigators are checking captive wildlife facilities to see if any large cats have escaped. Sarasota's Big Cat Rescue says they don't believe any of their animals have gotten loose there.
Moat Marine is putting out a jellyfish warning on our area beaches. According to Moat scientists, they've seen an influx of jellyfish on beaches and waterways, and that's a problem that often gets worse during high tide. Officials say they are not sure what is bringing thousands of jellyfish to the Gulf Coast, but jellyfish normally move with the currents, and since Hurricane Irma, the area's jellyfish population has been on the rise. But we spoke to people here that say they're not too worried about it.
You know, I heard there was some in there, but I wasn't worried about it.
Nothing so far, but the other day when we came here, I saw a piece of a dead fish laying on the ground.
I want to hear more from him. Moat says there has been an increase in the number of jellyfish stings over the last few weeks, but only a handful have occurred recently. Beach advisory flags are up, just to remind our visitors to be cautious.
In Bradenton, a manatee has been released back into the wild after spending a year in rehabilitation. Randall the manatee was in the care of the South Florida Museum and also SeaWorld Orlando. He was stranded in Camp Branch Creek, which is in Putnam County in North Florida. Changes were made after Randall's rescue to prevent manatees from getting stuck in that camp again in the future.
Remember, for updates on developing stories, national and local breaking news, you'll want to download the latest version of our app. iPhone and iPad users, go to the App Store and re-download it. You'll want to search for WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users will get that update automatically. It is 6:33, and in Sarasota, there is a master plan in the works to improve one of our city's top attractions, but it's raising some questions from people who live nearby.
Our Rick Adams says more on how Selby Gardens wants to invest millions of dollars into a major facelift to their lush property.
Maurice Selby Botanical Gardens is embarking on a $67 million 10-year plan that will completely upgrade and transform their 14-acre property on the Sarasota Bayfront.
It takes our living plant and preserved plant collections and moves them out of the flood zone. And the second part is it gives some organization and really helps orient people to get around the gardens much better.
Kirby says the plan will take place in 3 phases, which includes the removal of several buildings to make way for more green space and also the building of a 5-story parking garage. The parking garage has some folks who live close by concerned about traffic. Tom Lazier's family has lived in the Hudson Bayou neighborhood just blocks from the property since the 1920s. Lazier has also served on the Board of Trustees for Selby. He tells us residents should not have any concerns with this project.
It puts the parking into one logical
location and creates a flow in and out of the property that doesn't exist today.
Luzier is one resident who can't wait for the transformation of Selby Gardens to take place, especially because he says they now have their eye on the future.
Employ green building technologies, solar arrays, living walls. It's just really exciting stuff that we really haven't seen around here.
Selby will be getting money for the project through a major fundraising campaign. If all goes according to plan, work on the project could begin within 3 years.
We've got a lot of excitement. We've been talking with neighbors. I think there is a general excitement. We've got some work to do to be able to make sure everyone is happy and finds the plan appeasing to the neighborhood.
Reporting from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
A former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy learned his fate in court yesterday. Last month, Frank Bybee was convicted of kidnapping, exploiting the elderly, and a number of fraud charges. A judge sentenced Bybee to 15 years in state prison, followed by 10 years of parole. Bybee's soon-to-be ex-wife was in the courtroom during his sentencing. Sheriff Tom Knight and a number of deputies were there as well. Judge Donald Mason struggled to come up with a sentence as a former law enforcement officer himself, but he had harsh words for Bybee in court.
You've heard every one of these people sitting in this court today with a uniform on. You've heard every single one of them. You've made their job that much tougher by your actions in a time when being a cop is a tough thing to be.
Bybee sentenced to 15 years in prison as stated, but his defense team is still appealing the kidnapping charge.
The search is on for a car burglar in Lakewood Ranch. Deputies say several unlocked vehicles in the Central Park area were broken into. That's on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard near State Road 70. They are urging residents to remove all valuables from their cars and make sure their doors are locked when they're unattended. If you can help find the burglars, contact the Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS.
A local community center was forced to evacuate after a credible threat from a teenager. Northport police say a teenage student allegedly made threats at the Morgan Family Community Center. The building was immediately evacuated and the teen ran into the center's bathroom. But after a short time, the teen came out and surrendered peacefully. Fortunately, no weapons were ever found. The student was returned to his guardians. No charges at this time. And consumers are warned to be cautious before buying gold. A Northport pawn shop recently bought gold bars they thought were real, but after the purchase they ran a test and realizes the gold was actually fake. Now they want to warn others to take their items to a professional jeweler to be tested before actually buying them.
I can tell what the metal is while you wait. So it's 100%. You can't guess if it's gold or not.
It is unclear whether the man who sold the gold to the pawn shop knew that that gold was fake himself.
A search is on for a new football coach at Southeast High School. Head coach Rashad West has resigned. He spent 2 years as the Seminoles coach. His resignation comes after Southeast was placed on probation for their post-game fight against Hardy High School last month. The school also had to forfeit 6 regular season games, 5 of which were wins, after the district learned about an academically ineligible player who took part in those games.
Fruitville Elementary School honored veterans yesterday at a special event called Courage and Coffee. Teachers made sure students are aware of our veterans' sacrifices. Of course, Veterans Day is coming up tomorrow. So the students brought their parents, grandparents, and friends who had served in the military. The kids gave the vets homemade flags, sang songs, and made the vets feel special. So we talked to a soldier and a student about what this event means to them.
I was very grateful for the kids bringing us in here to that they understand what we did and what we've been through, and it's good to know that they're teaching the kids.
So why do you think veterans are special people?
Well, they all defend our country and they fight for us, so I just think they really help our country altogether.
Veterans Day is always the 11th day of the 11th month to honor the lives lost in World War I, but it was expanded to celebrate all veterans following World War II.
And happening today, the Sarasota Kiwanis Club hosting their 4th annual Veterans Day breakfast this morning. The event runs from 7 to 9 at the Sahib Shriners Temple on North Beneva Road in Sarasota. Proceeds from the sold-out event will benefit the Sarasota Kiwanis Foundation and Veterans Services at USF Sarasota Manatee Campus. And schools across the region will feature events throughout the day. Venice Elementary will host a breakfast and flag ceremony at 7:45 a.m. Pineview School will have their Veterans Day celebration and parade from 8:30 to 10:30. And Sarasota Suncoast Academy will honor veterans with a show in their auditorium from 8:45 to 9:45. Brookside Middle School will hold their Veterans Day salute in their cafeteria, featuring the school's band and chorus at 9:45. Later on, Wilkinson Elementary will have students hear experiences from Suncoast veterans in their own words at 2 p.m. And Imagine School at Northport will celebrate the 241st birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps starting at 5 p.m. We'll have more on these events throughout the day here on ABC 7. And for a complete list of Suncoast Veterans Day events, go to mysuncoast.com. Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. And then parades mostly tomorrow. And you mentioned that you're actually doing a panel discussion with Jacqueline Matter.
That's right, 2 o'clock tomorrow on Longboat Key, a nice parade, and then a discussion afterwards at an adjacent facility about veterans issues these days.
Of which, unfortunately, there are many.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not sure we do as good a job as we could taking care of our veterans.
Right. Yeah, I guess the face of the problems of the on the landscape of veterans' problems has changed so much with Afghanistan and IEDs and things like that.
Exactly.
You know, what's required now in terms of follow-up for veterans.
PTSD and all that.
Yeah. We have across our region some very changing weather conditions today, changing for the better. I think you'll like it. We'll talk about it in a sec.
All right, well, we certainly like that it's Friday. We're going to check out our First Alert traffic as well. And then coming up, a new Star Wars trilogy now in the works.
We'll tell you more about the big announcement from the Mouse House when we come back. But first, a shot of Sarasota Bay and Longboat Key as you awaken at 6:41. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
I heard about the Datoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Datoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye, and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109. Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
I'm Alan Cohn. President Trump in Asia as historically bad poll numbers are released and Democrats sweep Election Day.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Well, we've dropped 1 degree at 67 with the dew point coming in at 65. A pretty good spread today. Yesterday we were at a temperature dew point match, bringing 100% relative humidity. That's not the case this morning. Temperatures are a little bit warmer. And then one of the reasons is the cloud cover that we have out there, high, thin clouds, and some medium level lower clouds coming in as well. Northeast wind also kind of breezy, coming in at about 7. Those wind speeds will be increasing throughout the afternoon. to the point where eventually we're going to need a small craft advisory. That'll be issued at 7 o'clock tonight. So fog, not as big an issue today. 67 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, 66 Myakka. Parrish at 64, Bradenton at 65, Lakewood Ranch, you have 65 degrees this morning. And in Northport, it's 67. 70 in Punta Gorda, 67, Venice, 68 in Inglewood. And out at Longboat Key, 68 degrees there. So temperatures a little bit warmer by 1-2 degrees in places, but the humidities are going to begin to fall, and so will our temperatures as well. As we progress through the morning and into the afternoon, the frontal boundary continues to push southward. High pressure builds in. We get another little weak boundary sinking southward that washes away as high pressure builds in back behind it. And that high pressure ridge brings us a kind of easterly wind flow that gets, well, northeasterly wind flow that gets rather breezy over the next 24 hours. The only caveat to the weekend forecast might be that because of the fetch off the northeast, because of a northeast fetch off of the Atlantic waters, some moisture might be picked up and slung back in our direction that could produce an isolated shower or two. Lower humidity with rain-free skies today. Tomorrow, well, tonight actually, becoming breezy and going through tomorrow morning. Certainly it'll be a breezy. In fact, it might be breezy all weekend long. Boaters watch for that. And then some isolated weekend showers, and the rain chance really not all that great this weekend. Titan radar not showing a drop of rain around currently, and as I mentioned, if you're traveling today, most places are going to be just fine in terms of any kind of weather. The inclement weather that we had for the Carolinas and for the Atlanta airport yesterday has now pushed off the Atlantic coastline. Northeast looks pretty quiet and looks just fine, but boy, I'll tell you what, pack your mucklucks if you're going up to Boston or points northeast of that today, because it is going to be frigid. Northeast wind tonight builds to about 20 knots, so will seas building to about 4 feet. There'll be a small craft advisory tonight. Over the weekend, about a 20% chance of an isolated shower. Otherwise, temperatures will be lower. Humidity will generally be lower too, even with those passing showers. And then next week, another front, which lowers our temperatures even a little bit more. Back to you.
For that, right now we're watching roadways and things looking pretty good. State Road 70, a little bit of a backup there at 41. Also some heavy volume Cortez in the eastbound direction. I-75 looks good through Manatee County. Quiet start to the day. A little bit of volume on Fruitville getting on I-75. Beaver just cleared up a bit. Clark Road looks good as well. And as we head into South County, some volume in and out of Nokomis and Venice on 41, but I-75 accident and delay free. It's 6:47 in this hour's Health Smart. There are new findings involving a treatment that has helped millions of breast cancer survivors avoid reoccurrence. As ABC's Janai Norman tells us, extending the time to take certain drugs could be a critical step.
Mothers, sisters, wives. Breast cancer survivors take many forms, and for many, adjuvant treatments like tamoxifen and aromatase inhibitors have helped lessen the chances of recurrence. These drugs traditionally taken for 5 years following surgery and chemo. Now, a new study suggests that doctors may want to rethink this 5-year limit and suggest that women take these drugs for even longer. Researchers at Oxford University studied more than 60,000 breast cancer survivors who received tamoxifen. Doctors monitored these women to see if the cancer would return. What the researchers found, even after 5 years, these women's risk of recurrence remained. Authors of the study saying that a longer course of these adjuvant drugs may curb this risk. The drugs, however, not without their side effects, some potentially dangerous. So for breast cancer survivors, making the choice to extend the use of these drugs may or may not mean a conversation with their doctor. It may mean a critical step toward a cancer-free future. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janai Norman, ABC News.
Entertainment news, Amazon reportedly in talks to create a TV remake of the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy. Actor Sean Astin, who starred in the original films, told Entertainment Weekly he's not surprised. He said it'd be hard to pull off, that he hopes the vision of the trilogy doesn't get lost. As for appearing in the shows, he called the idea intriguing. Plus, The Last Jedi is just the beginning for Rian Johnson. The writer-director of Star Wars The Last Jedi is set to create a brand new Star Wars trilogy. Disney says he'll write and direct the first film. No word yet on when those films would hit theaters. And good news for Taylor Swift fans. Her new album, Reputation, went on sale at midnight last night. But to hear it, you'll have to buy it as it's not on any streaming services. Swift's last 3 albums sold more than 1 million copies each in their first week.
And that would be why you have to buy it.
It's a funny concept, isn't it? To hear it, you have to buy it. That was always the case when I was growing up.
Exactly.
To hear, you got to buy it.
And you never knew if you liked it.
That's exactly right, too. That's right. Still ahead, your local news headlines and a surprising discovery on a famous Van Gogh painting.
We'll tell you how museum staff found something unbelievable on top of the iconic image. We'll show you that when we come back. But first, a look outside. Does not appear that fog is much of a problem this morning, but we are looking at a little bit of cloud cover as we see the sunrise.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Buy more, save more. Volume discounts on 4 or more windows.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-855-395-9803. That's 1-855-395-9803 now.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. The FDA has recently warned about an increased risk of leg and foot amputations associated with the use of certain diabetic medications such as Invokana and Invokamet. If you or a loved one took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation, ketoacidosis, kidney failure, or even death, call the Rely On group now. We are here to help you get the justice you deserve. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-355-8205. That's 800-355-8205.
The ABC 7 First Alert Hurricane Guide arms you with vital information when severe weather threatens the Suncoast. Visit mysuncoast.com and download yours today.
Time for breakfast at Beneva near Fruitville. Big Kiwanis breakfast for Veterans Day this morning.
A lot of events happening at area schools and, of course, also parades then stepping off tomorrow with the official holiday being November 11th. But since it's a Saturday, we're going to celebrate for 2 days in honor of our veterans. It is 6:54, and here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Former Sarasota County Sheriff Deputy Frank Bybee will spend 15 years in state prison. A judge sentenced him yesterday for kidnapping and exploitation of the elderly.
Concerns in eastern Manatee County about possible tiger sightings. The sheriff's office and state wildlife officials are warning residents in Mayaca City to take caution and call 911 if they see one.
And a rise in jellyfish sightings causing lifeguards to put up the warning flags on Suncoast beaches. Experts from Marine blame shifting tides.
Taking a final look at First Alert traffic for this hour. Things looking great this morning. Not a lot of problems to the north. You can see things moving well in Bradenton, up 301, 41, I-75, accident-free through Manatee and Sarasota counties, all the way down into Northport. Looks like a great Friday morning commute. John?
Morning clouds and a breezier wind with slightly lower dew points have eliminated our fog problem this morning. We're really not going to have that issue. If you go south, you might still see some fog down to the south of us, but that cloud cover should give way to sunshine, bringing us a mostly pleasant afternoon. We'll get a little windy around here, and a small craft advisory will be issued later tonight, but go for a daytime high of 80 with lower relative humidity. Over the weekend, maybe an isolated shower.
All right, finally now, an unusual discovery at a Kansas City museum. The Nelson Atkins Museum of Art found a small grasshopper embedded in a Vincent van Gogh painting. The insect was stuck in the thick paint in the lower foreground of the famed artist's olive trees. Well, Van Gogh was known for painting outdoors and even wrote a letter to his brother in 1885 that said he must have picked off 100 flies off the 4 canvases that you'll be getting soon. The bug was found with a microscope and not visible to the naked eye. If he painted outside, that was bound to happen, I imagine.
Absolutely. I wonder why they waited till now to go over these with a microscope like that, to look for such things.
Maybe they're cleaning it. I don't know.
Probably.
A lot of free time for somebody there.
Yeah, that probably isn't a fun job. Check this and let me see if there's any fleas stuck to it.
New internship program. That's right.
Why do you need a microscope to find a grasshopper, though?
Apparently it was a little one.
Little teeny tiny grasshopper.
Have a good weekend, folks. See you tomorrow on Longboat Key.
Good Morning America's up next.